Hello, friendly people of the internet. I am Hyper Super Sora, and welcome back to Remembering Avatar, where I talk about the Avatar episodes completely from my memory. Then I watch the episode and see what I get wrong. This episode, The Northern Air Temple, should have been a two-parter. This episode should have been a two-parter, or cut the Great Divide, cut the Fortune Teller, cut Battle of the Water Tribe. This should have gotten two parts. The story of this episode, now, I think the next episode is where we have the subplot of Zhao trying to kill Zuko. I think that's next episode, not this one. This one has a bunch of shit in it already. But before the gang can reach the Northern Water Tribe, they visit the Northern Air Temple. And they hear a story that, people are flying, airwalkers, airbenders are still around. Which is funny since the show's called Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if there are more airbenders, then the show title is a lie. Yeah, as it showed, they're not actually airbenders. For all intents and purposes, they're just hang gliding. Aang initially is excited, but he can notice the fine details just like, no, they're not actually flying. They don't have any spirit to it. Come across someone who actually does have some spirit to him. And ironically enough, it's the guy in the wheelchair. Fuck, what was his name? Crap. Nope, it's not there. Son of a bitch. Damn it. Damn you, brain. I'll make a note of that when we watch the episode. I'll make note of his name. Anyway. Yeah. Aang is looking at this as just like, this is a sacred place for airbenders. Why are you here? Because we had no other home to go to? And it's not like this place was being used. But now it is kind of being used, and in Aang's own words, it's being used in all the wrong ways. Like, imagine if you entered a garage or a garage and they're doing your nails. It's just like, this is not what this was meant for. Or you're going into a salon and you guys are and they ask you, so you want your tires changed? Just like, no, I didn't go here for that reason. The historical precedence is being pretty much torn down and disgraced for progress, as it says. And Aang is very much against it. But then halfway through, he comes around saying, yeah, it's different. But these people still need a place to live. No one's here anymore. As long as they can respect some of the historical things that I hold dear, and so we don't lose the culture, then fair enough, they can live here. And then the wheelchair guy's dad. Did we get his name? The inventor, I guess. By the way, he made a whole bunch of inventions. Natural gas underneath the airbending place. Who knew? Of course they would know. They're the fucking airbenders. That's a plot point later on. Figure out this inventor is making weapons for the Fire Nation. And the gang and the son is just like, you bitch! Why the fuck are you doing this? So we don't die! Yeah, and you're helping it so other people do. We're stopping this now. How soon are they showing up? Soon. Very soon. Creates ambush on their meeting, and then battle ensues, where we get to see these cool tanks-like things that the Fire Nation is in, like these caterpillar heads kind of tank things. And they're really fucking tough to dock down at first. And then, Katara uses some water ice bending. Use some ice to freeze them up, done and dusted. They may have the advantage in everywhere else, but we have the sky. And with that, we have hold the victory. And I'm pretty sure they commit a war crime this episode, because Sokka and the inventor use an air balloon, which Sokka helped invent, and with the Fire Nation insignia on it, which means the Fire Nation doesn't attack them at first because they think they're on their side. Yes, Sokka helped invent the hot air balloon in this world. Pretty sure that's a war crime. Plastering your enemy's insignia on your thing so they won't attack you. But Sokka takes good advantage of this and bombs the ever-loving shit out of the tanks and all the Fire Nation. And when they only have one bomb left, it's their engine. Sokka's just like, yep, let's chuck it. Over this natural gas pit, which they figured out through the power of rotten eggs. Sokka, you're a genius. Him and the inventor bounce off each other. It's just like, wait a minute. If we mix rotten eggs with natural gas, we could actually find where the natural gas leak is at. And then they smell it, and it's just like, oh, we could blow up the entire fucking people. We could kill all of them. And thus they do. Although they lose the hot air balloon, which, at the end, the Fire Nation gets. They lost one battle. But that one tool, the hot air balloon, will be the key to many, many victories. And I forget exactly how the episode ends. It's just like, yeah, this wasn't originally yours, but you can stay. Then they go on their way up to the Northern Water Tribe, blah, blah, blah. This episode really needed 2 episodes to kind of flesh out, since it's kind of bloated. You had a perfect cut in the middle there of the discovery of, wait a minute, he works for the Fire Nation? The inventor's son wanted Aang to open the door, and when he did, boom, Fire Nation insignia. Cut. And the next part. But that's all I have to say without watching the episode. It's good, just needed 2 parts. When my complaint is I want to see more of it, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The complaint should be, I want more instead of, well, where's the rest? Anyway, that's enough rambling. Let's watch the episode and see if I'm making any sort of sense. Or see if this is where Zuko almost gets killed. Okay, so just got done watching the episode, and Teo. Teo was the kid's name that was in the wheelchair, whose dad made all these crazy contraptions, including helped with the air balloon, made weapons for the Fire Nation, and reverse engineered the hang gliders. I kind of hit the nail on the head this episode. The reason they found out that he was making weapons for the Fire Nation is because Teo showed Aang, hey, pretty sure this hasn't been touched. Well, let's fact check it. Boom. No, it's been touched in the worst possible way. Village got... Then the backstory is revealed. It's just like the village got flooded, so they needed to start over. Found the air temple. Then the Fire Nation found them and pretty much said, either you make shit for us, or we'll kill everyone. And the most notable thing that I put down in my notes is that they got away with saying murder on a kid's show. Because Teo actively says, how can I be proud of your work if your work is being used to murder people? One thing I'd like to point out, though, is that how in his element Sokka is in this episode. He is at complete 100% Sokka. He is so in his comfort zone. It's just like he is a master of what's going on right now. He's just like, you're an inventor? Alright, cool. Let's fucking do some shit. Helps invent shit. helps solve his problems. Quick thinking. He is so in his element right now. Sokka is an intellectual. He is a thinker. And this episode said, hey, you want to think? Yes, I do. He is a great problem solver. Very goal-oriented, good with problem solving. Warrior not as great at, but he gets better at that. But this is where his talent lies. Up here in his brain, and he goes with it. Now, while he isn't really the standout character in this episode, that's pretty much just Aang because he's the main character. Also, Zuko did not appear in this episode. It must be next episode where he gets attempted murdered. But nothing really much I can say that I haven't said in the first part of the review. I pretty much hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I still think this episode should have been a two-parter. You could have had a great cliffhanger of seeing the Fire Nation hanging out. Womp, 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 womp. End. Next part. And you could have done that in a way where you could have shown Aang getting to know these people and warming up to them a bit more. And then the second episode, all this build-up, they're revealing that twist. Then dealing with the planning, the fallout, the meeting, then the action. Giant fucking explosion with the natural gas. Anything I can really say about that? Yeah. The little the little irony that happens. Yeah, you're right, Aang, Sokka says with a smile on his face. As long as we have air power, Fire Nation doesn't stand a chance. And then they start to reverse engineer the war balloon that they fucking lost in the fight. Just like, yeah, that ain't gonna last for long. Because the Fire Nation's not stupid. Yeah, let's give the inventor the biggest fucking credit we can, and that he was the smartest person that gave the Fire Nation weapons. Because if you ask me, one of the smartest people in the world, at least right now, is going to be Sokka eventually. But right now, let's say it's the inventor. Yeah, let's say he's the smartest person in the world. Doubt. But you get enough people slamming their heads against the war balloon, or against a brick wall in this case, they'll figure it out. I forget what study it was, but scientists made a game out of advanced problems that they couldn't solve. The highest intellectuals out there. And you just throw so many people at the problem, in a week it got fixed. This disease that scientists had no idea what to do with. Yeah, a week when they made it into a game to let everyone mess with it. Done. That repeated slamming their head against the problem. And Fire Lord's just going to be like, they use this to win this battle. Figure out how it works. And the scientists are going to be like, and as we see later on, that happens. They get it to work, and they improve it in a lot of places. Although they're going to probably need a bigger group. That doesn't matter. But yeah, it's a fine episode. I still think it should have been a two-parter, though. What do you guys think of the Northern Air Temple? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Hit and subscribe to see even more Spirit. And hit that little notification bell to see when I upload all the time. Till next time in Hyper Super Sora, sayonara.